Oh my god, this is working so well. Hello, all you lovely ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of 2 Week Startup, the only YouTube channel where every 2 weeks we try and launch a completely new business. I'm Michael, an entrepreneur who's worked in a number of profit and non-profit enterprises. Let's dial up the energy to Hypebeast because I think we might be onto an absolute winner with this one. Before we start, do not share anything that you hear in this episode today. It is so important to this startup that we keep that anonymity, that Banksy style level of no one knows who's running the startup. So please enjoy it, but do not share. We'll dig into more about the mystery later on. At this point, you're probably watching going, well, what is the business then? So here's the plan. To start our limited drop business, we're going to break into Supreme Vaults and steal their secret 7 steps to learn how they smashed it. If that by some miracle doesn't work, then I guess we could spend a few hours reading blog posts on steps to launch a limited drop business. Once we've identified the gap in the market, that is, uni stash you could wear to a club, we'll make a private Instagram, release the drops, and then we can retire with Bezos as our butler. What's a limited drop business, you ask? Well, it's my pleasure to welcome back Margot Michael to walk us through it. Oh, hi again. So a limited drop business basically has 2 factors you need to remember. The limited factor is what it says on the tin. We purposely cut down the number of stock a customer can buy. And then the drop factor is basically means that we only sell the items for 1 day in a month. I have a pretty clear idea of what I want. I only want a few items, just 2 hoodies and then 1 really cheap accessory. The long-term goal is to be able to go head to toe in just the streetwear uni stash. Again, just like people say that you need a website or you need some professional designer to do your own little stuff for your first business or startup, I'm going to show you how you don't. You literally just need PowerPoint and word art, and we're going to make some pretty fly streetwear. So now we've made our 2 designs and we know what we want, we can go out and try and find a manufacturer. So we're going to return to our manufacturer square, and I think we're just going to focus on online and international because I just don't think it's going to be cost effective enough to do it domestically. So we're going to do that. We're going to see what's out there, see if they can do it, and we'll come back and see how that goes. So something that I think is actually pretty ingenious that I figured out while I was searching for the manufacturers was based on basically paying for the samples or paying for the first run. So take it like this. When we're buying items from a manufacturer, we've got 2 options really. Buy the first initial small run where maybe you buy 5 or 10, or you can pay for a sample. Now both of these are delivered to us. So the sample would maybe cost us £40 for just 1 and to be shipped. And then 5 of them with shipping would maybe cost £100. And this is for the hoodies. And all we're going to do with them here is we're just going to take pictures of them, and then they're just going to sit here until we actually sell them. But then if we don't sell them, we've kind of lost either 40 or £100 and it's just sitting here collecting dust. So what I figured out was, well, if all I'm doing is pictures, why don't I just pay the manufacturer just to make the sample, and that will only cost me a tenner. And I've asked them, don't send it to me. Don't worry about that. You hold it, you take the pictures, you give it to me. And then I'll use the pictures to market the product. And it's a win-win. I honestly, my mind, I was like, because you think about it, basically I'm now spending £10. If I get sales, great, brilliant. I just order from them the number of sales I've got. If I don't get sales, no biggie, I've only lost £10 opposed to the £100 or £40. So now that's all done, let's dig into the sales and marketing. And I think this is really special this time. I mean, I think I've outdone myself, I'm going to be honest. A quick word from our sponsors, Squarespace. The place to go when you want space, but a circle just doesn't cut it. Quick note, Squarespace aren't actually our sponsors, but if they want to be, DM me. The email for the channel is in the description. So reach out and support the channel, you know. The marketing we're going to do, I'm going to coin a term and I'm going to call it the Banksy method. Let's ask Michael Banksy what he thinks about it.
The Banksy method basically means using anonymity and scarcity to quickly raise the allure of a product.
The reason anonymity and the Banksy method works so well is it basically means there's a blank canvas for the public or the followers to project whatever their idea of the brand or the people running the brand are. As soon as I show my face or say who's running it, then it kind of changes the complete value and look and feel of the brand, and people won't be able to just project what they want to think it is.
We're going to do this by being a bit cunning and using some social engineering. First, we set up a private Instagram, a Pinster as some might call it, that you can only access if you've been invited by someone who's on the page already. Well, that's what we want everyone to think. In reality, we're just going to send a message to a bunch of people saying that someone asked for them specifically to be invited to the page. This makes them feel special, which everyone loves. Then we'll offer them the opportunity to invite someone else, which gives them power, which people love even more. We'll then slowly tease the drops by releasing art and Spotify playlists that inspired the look. Also, to add a bit more mystery to the whole brand, we won't reveal at all who invited you, and I think that's a pretty smart move. This should rapidly build an identity in the followers' mind of who we are and make them hyper engaged.
So the conventional sales and marketing relationship for a product is usually launch the product and then do a bunch of marketing to try and get sales for that original launch product. We're going to flip that, and we're basically going to start off with marketing, which is going to be our hype. We're going to do a bunch of that, and then we're just going to have our sale, which is our drop. So the plan for how many hoodies and socks we're going to sell is we're going to keep it at 20 hoodies for each design, and they're both going to be at £20. And then for the socks, I think I'm going to maybe do it for 30 or 40 socks, and they're just going to be £5. Maybe there's some logic in doing, I'll only do the drop once I've maybe got 50 or 60 followers who are engaging with the Instagram, because then that kind of adds some competition. So for the finances, I think actually we're going to take some time next week once we've actually done the drop, and we can gather if the sales have gone well, how well they've gone, and then compare the profit and losses. When I kind of did initial pricings, I think it looked like it would cost me £500 to do 40 hoodies and 30 socks and have them shipped here. And then if we sold them all at full price, we'd get £1,000 in. So that's a general idea. But for right now, what we've done is we've got a net loss of £24 in the material costs for the 2 hoodies. And that's basically it. That's the finances. So here are the steps you can take to start your own limited drop business. Step 1, identify your gap in the market. Step 2, make your first designs, and I would focus on only 3 to begin with. Step 3, find a manufacturer using the manufacturer square. Step 4, launch a private Insta, and to build up hype, use anonymity and exclusivity, the Banksy method. Step 5, release your drop, and hopefully your hyper-engaged audience should buy. Thanks once again for tuning into another episode of 2 Week Startup. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I'm excited to see where we're at next week in terms of sales and for the Q&A. We've got some really exciting stuff lined up for over the next few weeks in terms of businesses and just other content that we're going to create. So please share this with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and don't forget, don't share what you've heard today. We got to keep the Banksy method up and running. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.